This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win. Let's start with the AFC West. Let's talk about the Denver Broncos. I think this is an easy one, but also one that I think it deserves some thought, because now that the Denver Broncos are sitting here with the number one overall seed going into 2026 and the postseason here, what does a resolution for this team look like? Normally, it's very easy. For the bad teams, it's like, all right, well, let's change something and be good here. But what do we do for the good teams? A little bit different way to start things off here for us. So talk to us about this.
Certainly Broncos fans with the top seed, home field advantage, a bye week heading into wild card week are going to go, duh, the resolution is win the Super Bowl.
It's true. I mean, it could be.
For any of the teams still in the postseason, that is going to be the backdrop of, hey, we would love to win a Super Bowl as our first resolution. But otherwise, whenever we do get to Denver's offseason here, I think there's two positions I'd like to focus on. Number one, how they're going to improve in the run game. Okay, RJ Harvey obviously looks like a nice piece, and he's going to be at least a part of it. But the rest of their backfield is free. It's free agents this offseason. So regardless of whether RJ Harvey is your workhorse or not, I think they need to add some depth. Is it going to be bringing a guy like Jaleel McLaughlin back, right? Is it going to be drafting some more backs? Is it going to be bringing J.K. Dobbins back, hoping he's healthy next year? That's question number one for me. Number two, what else is at cornerback right now heading into this offseason aside from Pat Surtain, right? When you look at Riley Moss is going to be entering the last year of his deal next year, and he's struggled. Jaquan McMillan in the slot is a free agent, and we just haven't seen very much of their first-round pick, Jahdae Barron, this year. Is he going to be the guy that steps into that nickel role? Is he going to play on the outside? He's really only played in their dime defenses this year. So two positions I look at heading into the offseason: running back, cornerback. What are we doing there?
Yeah, and I think that the running back one intrigues me more. I don't disagree with you, but I do believe that because they have Barron, that sort of answers that question a little bit for them going into next year. Okay, Barron plays a little bit more on the outside and on the inside. You've got one more year to evaluate Riley Moss. I even wondered, as I was sort of going through mock draft scenarios for them as a team who's picking at the back end of the first round, do you maybe try to get ahead of that even more? Do you draft another cornerback, maybe not in the first round, but with one of your couple earlier picks that you have to sort of just try to get ahead of that? All right, maybe you're letting McMillan walk, and then maybe you're letting Riley Moss walk the next year, and if you have cornerbacks that you've got ready, maybe that can be the case. But really, I think it's the running back part of this equation for them, because now that they have the number one overall seed, you're looking to keep that winning window open. And in order to do that, you've got to be able to have a dynamic backfield. If you just look at their running backs this year, they're 16th in overall PFF rushing grade, so right in the middle of the league, and they're 22nd in EPA per rush from just their running back room. And so you'd like for both of those numbers to be more top half of the league, especially as a team that you want to compete for the next couple of years. So understand what you're saying about the defensive back part of it. They've got some time and flexibility to figure that out, but the resolution to me is, let's get even more dynamic and more confident in what this rushing game can be in 2026 and beyond. Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs are in a much different spot, right? Normally, we would talk about like, what's the next weapon that Mahomes is getting here? We're going to continue to compete for Super Bowls, and obviously that is what they would like to do. They'd like to bounce back a little bit here, but for the first time in a long time, Kansas City's not in the playoffs, and Mahomes is recovering from a torn ACL, so it's no guarantee that he'll be 100% when the season even starts. And so a New Year's resolution, other than Mahomes having a clean bill of health, which I think is the obvious here for the Chiefs, what's a resolution for you?
I mean, Mahomes has to be healthy. Their first-round pick left tackle, Josh Simmons, has to be healthy heading into next year. And I think the general theme more than any one position is the Chiefs just have to get more explosive on offense. They're just not explosive. They weren't explosive at all this year. 25th in explosive pass rate. And if I take out scrambles from the quarterback on design runs, they have the second lowest explosive run rate in the league. Mahomes improvising and scrambling was really the most explosive part of this offense, and you can't sustain that for 17 games. And this time they couldn't do it without Mahomes getting hurt. Obviously, the torn ACL ended his season, so you have health concerns about him. You want to protect him more. They got to find a way. To get more explosive. I think their 9th overall pick in the draft. To me, I think it's either going to be a new right tackle or Jeremiah Love.
Right.
And
right.
And it depends on how they look at the running back free agent market. Somebody like a Breece Hall from the New York Jets, maybe a Javonte Williams from the Dallas Cowboys. They just, in every facet of their offense, they have to get more explosive. We have the Travis Kelce question to answer, that he needs to overhaul the tight end room now with him possibly retiring. So, in general, if they don't get more explosive on offense, they're going to look like a one-sided team as they have the last 2 years.
Jared Wiley slander? I won't stand for it.
Well, let's see the reps.
Won't stand for it.
Let's see
Just
it.
saying. Yeah, obviously, the title of the show is the resolution. So the resolution is the decision or goal that you have here in mind. But if we were doing, a Christmas gifts show, it would be Jeremiah Love. Like, that would be where my mind would go, because I think that, yes, I think that a clean bill of health from Mahomes and Josh Simmons as well, paramount for this team moving forward. They could look to upgrade the offensive line. There's no question about it. But just how the lack of a dynamic run game they had all year long, whether Mahomes was in there or whether he wasn't. And I understand there's the back and forth conversation of, do you draft a running back in the top 10, positional value, all that kinds of stuff. There aren't a lot of backs where I would say that we would entertain that. Because not only do you have to be a great back when the ball is in your hands as a runner, you have to be able to force missed tackles every single time you get the ball, or at least have a really good average in doing so. You have to have a really good yards after contact average, because both of those numbers mean that you are talented independent of whatever your offensive line is in front of you. So you're making the most out of things, whether your offensive line's having a good year or not. And then the third factor is you have to be able to positively impact the passing game. You've got to be a natural pass catcher. You've got to be able to run routes. You've got to be able to impact the passing game, not just in a complimentary way, but in a direct way. Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey. These are all top 10 pick running backs, so I would tell you, now, Saquon Barkley at number 2 overall, that's rich, but these are all players that I go, all of them not only impact the game as a runner, but also as a passer. All of that to say, if the Chiefs get Jeremiah Love, you're talking about shades of Priest Holmes, prime Priest Holmes when he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the type of impact player and presence that you're talking about if they're able to get him. So I think the resolution for the Chiefs is to, like you said, be more committed to having a more impactful and explosive running game that was just very clearly a big-time miss out of what they needed this year. And the gift could very well be Jeremiah Love there in the top 10. Anything else on this one before we move on?
Nope.
All right. The Las Vegas Raiders. What's the Raiders? A new head coach, Pete Carroll out, John Spytek staying. We figured that would be the case. It just felt like there wasn't that connection the way that there needed to be between Pete Carroll and between Spytek. It felt like the guys that John Spytek brought in, Pete Carroll really didn't want to play, and it felt like there was just a vision discrepancy, philosophical discrepancy, just a lot with those two there. And so Spytek remains, Pete Carroll is out. So we don't know who the head coach is going to be. A resolution could be just to have more from the head coaching position. But beyond that, what's a resolution here for this team?
I mean, you're right. Leadership in general on the sideline and on the field, and that starts with the quarterback. They're picking first overall, and they're going to me, cut Geno Smith. You're going to eat $18 million in dead money. It is what it is. Draft a new quarterback, number 1 overall. Is it going to be Fernando Mendoza from Indiana? Could it be Dante Moore from Oregon if he comes out and declares for the draft? Those two are going to be playing against each other in the college football playoff semifinal, which is going to be a ton of fun and a great evaluation against two great defenses at the college level. But on the field, it just didn't work with Geno Smith, right? When you look at a 58.2 passing grade this year, turnovers, interceptions, falling into bad habits. And look, they've got a lot of problems to fix on this team. You look at their defense. You look at, I think they need some help at wide receiver. Ashton Ginty, you obviously want to make the center of things, but your offensive line has to be a lot better. But I think to me, it's going to get into a new era, draft a new quarterback. You at least have Ginty and Brock Bowers to work with. Most likely, it's going to be one of those two guys playing on Friday night in the college football playoff semifinal.
Yeah, the resolution is more from the quarterback position. And I think that, I agree with you. It's going to be one of these guys that we're going to see in the college football playoff facing off in Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore. I think that Fernando Mendoza is the front runner for it right now, and it'll just kind of depend on what type of a head coach they get here in Las Vegas. And I think they will quite obviously have a big say in whatever quarterback they end up selecting. But, if it's an offensive mind, what kind of an offense are they going to want to run? Does one of these guys and their skill sets, matter more to what they're trying to accomplish? Do they think that one of them complements the roster that they already have there a little bit better. And so I think that the resolution is certainly just doing whatever you need to do to get more out of that quarterback position. And I really do agree with you. I think that the draft is probably the way that will happen. What about the Los Angeles Chargers? That's the last team that we have here in the AFC West. The resolution here for that. A playoff team. So Super Bowl. Super Bowl is,
first resolution. Win the whole darn thing.
Is win the whole thing. But, okay, other than that, because I don't know if there's going to be a lot of people picking the Chargers to make it all the way and win the Super Bowl this year. But I think that even throughout the struggles that they had this year, if you look at it and you say, hey, if Jesse Minter sticks around, right, if he's still our defense coordinator going into next year, you got to feel pretty good about the Chargers with them being a lot more healthy going into next year. But, okay, on top of that, what's a resolution that you have?
Well, it's time to go on our broken record rant that we talked about so much during 2025. Offensive line, offensive line, offensive line. This team, if they can improve the offensive line a significant amount, and that's the lowest graded unit in the NFL. They're last in PFF grade, they're last in pass blocking grade, they're last in run blocking grade. And yes, a lot of this is due to injuries, but when you look at this Chargers team, if and when they lose in the postseason, it will be because of their offensive line. Now, you get Joe Alt, you get Rashawn Slater back healthy next season. That helps you at the tackle spots. You don't really have to worry about that outside of depth pieces. The interior is where they're going to have to fix externally here. They got to get a lot better at both guard positions and the center position, whether that's in the draft, in free agency. Do anything that you can to protect Justin Herbert, who's been under pressure almost 43% of the time this season. If you can get that down into the low 30s, then you're a Super Bowl contender. This is the one reason I wouldn't pick this team to win to win the Super Bowl. I should say this postseason. Fix this offensive line. I'll think about it in 2026.
There's just it's so debilitating when you can't protect from within, because really, Aaron Donald, not that he was the first one to do it, but I think Aaron Donald's dominance just really shined a spotlight on interior pressure. Is just something that can derail an offense immediately. For an edge rusher, right? We saw with Myles Garrett as the season was coming to a close. Teams have the ability to chip and to put more players out there and to scheme you and scheme for you when you are an edge rusher, even when you were the best in the world, maybe one of the best that we've ever seen in this game, like a Myles Garrett. But when you have quick interior pressure, like a guy winning as a 3-tech, there's not a lot of help. Like, sure, you can keep a running back in to protect, maybe to help out in that situation, but all of that to say, the Chargers dead last in the NFL this year, 46.4 overall blocking grade from their interior presence, from the guards and the centers. Anytime it's that bad, this is an Achilles heel of how far the rest of this roster can go. So I agree with you. The resolution, it's not just the gift of getting new offensive linemen in there. It's philosophically truly just leaning as hard as you can into making sure the interior offensive line is as healthy as it can be.
Absolutely. If you can protect Justin Herbert at a sufficient rate, he's shown he can play MVP caliber football. They have the weapons. They've got Amarian Hampton at running back. They got to run between the tackles better as well. We know Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh, they want to run the football. If they can fix this offensive line, I do believe they're a Super Bowl contender next year.
Everyone's got takes. Numbers have truth. And the truth is, most people are betting with emotion. Sportsbooks feed on it. TikTok rules sell it. The hype machine runs on it. That's how you lose. PFF is different. You're betting with winning data. The same data trusted by all 32 NFL teams and the sharpest minds in the game. PFF betting tools take every prop, every matchup, every angle, and run them through our custom models. Built on the best football data in the world. What comes back is your edge. Simple, sharp, and built to win. Want to go deeper? PFF puts a pro-level analytics department in your hands, giving you the same insights teams use to find every advantage. Build your game plan with matchup analysis. Project every snap, every matchup, and every edge before kickoff. Because the smartest plays start long before Sunday. Hit rates show how a player performs against their prop and against defenses built the same way. It's the data that gives you real confidence in every pick. Next, Key Insights translates PFF data into the story behind every matchup, giving you the why that powers your bets. From coverage schemes to defensive looks, it's the context that turns raw numbers into winning decisions. When you're ready to take action, filter through every prop on the market and focus on the opportunities that matter, by game, matchup, or value. Then, shop for the best available line in your area and tap your book of choice to place the bet instantly. Everyone's got takes, but now you've got truth. Bet with data, win with PFF.